Do you struggle playing piano with both hands at the same time? Well, I know a lot of students who do, and today we are going to be talking about a method I developed that you can apply every single time that you play hands together, and it'll make it a lot easier to process all these notes. So if you're looking at this right now and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how would I ever play that hands together? Well, today I'm going to break it down for you and make it a whole lot easier. Okay, I'm calling this the 3S method, and you'll see why in a second. The reasoning behind it is I wanted to make it very, very simple to remember, and that you could apply it to any two-handed piano piece that you might be learning. So let's get on to the first S. Okay, the first S is simplify. You can simplify any piece by taking out anything that is complicated. Duh. You can simplify notes by taking out ornamentations, trills, mordents, I'll show you in a second. And you can also take out dynamics and articulations as well. So let's take a look at what we have going on here, this piece. So right away you can see that there are a ton of symbols other than the notes. Now, obviously, the sharps and flats, you want to pay attention to those because they are important to playing the correct note. But a lot of the other things going on when you're first trying to learn how to play things hands together, I recommend forgetting about them. You simply want to work on the coordination if that's what you're struggling with. If you're like, well, I just can't get my hands synced up right, try to make it as simple as possible by really concentrating on just the notes and getting the coordination between the hands. Once you accomplish that, then you can go back to adding in all these little ornaments and these smaller details. Also, another thing I like to do to simplify is to break it down into, it actually is going to get into one of the other S's as you'll find out, but I like to break things down measure by measure. If I'm struggling on one measure, say like the third measure, in here, I'm going to start from that measure. I'm not going to start from the first one. I'm also not going to start from the beginning all the time because as we've talked about, that makes the beginning really good and then the middle of the piece like okay, and then the end not so good. So I don't recommend that. All right, let's get on to our S number 2. Okay, the next S is slow down. For goodness, please slow down. Slow your playing way down. Playing too fast is the number one problem piano students have playing hands together. Believe me, I've taught a lot of students. You seriously can't play you can't play too slow when you're first learning how to play hands together. Especially with pieces, I see this with students with pieces that they have heard before because they try to play it at full speed and it just doesn't work out. And actually, a lot of times, even if you think you're playing slow, you're probably not playing slow enough if you can't manage it hands together. So please, please, please slow down. It will make things processing. Actually, it'll make you be able to process the notes a ton easier. So, I'm playing through this. Now there's a lot going on here, so I'm going to play it slow. And then if I couldn't handle that, I'd play it even slower. So seriously, you can't play too slow. Okay, separate. Separate, was talking about a little bit before. If you still can't keep it up, separate the pieces and learn them hands separate. That's what I'm talking about now, those hands separate. Before I was talking about breaking it down into measures, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that before. So obviously, if you can't handle this hands together, you're going to want to break it up and you want to learn it hands separate. Get the left hand to where you can play from the beginning to end at a fairly decent speed. I mean, it doesn't have to be lightning fast. But then also the right hand. This is especially helpful if you're playing in a key signature that you aren't used to playing in all the time. So you'll want to kind of really pay attention to those, sharps or flats. And it's probably a little bit easier if you're a beginner to break it down hands separate. And then try to put it hands together. How? Very, very fast? No. Remember S number 2. Slow down. All right, let's talk about applying these to a section of this piece. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to apply this 3S method to a few measures of this Pathétique sonata, which can be very tricky playing with both hands. So let's take a look. So I'm just going to start from this measure here, and I'm going to, before I even start, remember the first S, right, which is to simplify. So a lot of things, luckily right here, there's not really a whole lot to ignore other than the notes. But, looking down here, I can obviously see a piano, which tells me to play soft. So I'm not going to really, I'm going to kind of ignore that for now because I'm really concentrating on getting the right notes at the right time. You also want to remember that you want to, hold on a second. Sorry about that. You also want to remember that you want to do what? You want to slow down. So remember, simplify, slow down, and separate. So how about this? I'm going to play the right hand at a fairly, this is slow for me, but you might want to play it even slower, and then I'd play the left hand through. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to put them together, but how am I going to do it? I'm going to do it very, very slow, even way slower than I played before. And things like eyes, try to pay attention to those, because they are part of playing the correct notes between each hands. They are important. So there I can manage it pretty well. But what if I couldn't? What would happen? I have to remember the 3S method, right? I have to remember number 1, simplify. Number 2, what? Slow down. Number 3, you want to separate if I was having more trouble. And then I would, and part of it simplifying also is concentrating, as I mentioned before, breaking the music down into smaller parts. Because if you're trying to play from beginning to end, you're really not focusing in on all the parts that need to be put together. You can actually learn a piece a lot faster, learning it, measure by measure, line by line, and really going through and correcting your mistakes than you can just starting from, point A, which is the beginning, to the end, and just keep going through and through and through. You make a lot more progress focusing down and simplifying that way. So remember the SSS method, write it down if you need to, and apply it to the next time you're trying to learn something hands together, and let me know how it works out. Let me know in the comments. I would really, really love to hear from you, to hear how this works out, because I did make this up based on a lot of things I observed while teaching, a lot of things I observed while learning. It's a very simple thing. Like I said, I wanted to keep it S for simple as well, so you can, it's easy to remember and easy to apply. Hey, I want to show you over to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, and the reason behind that is if you really like the videos that you see over here on the YouTube channel and you're looking to learn a lot more about piano music, or maybe you're even looking to brush up on the basics, there's a lot more material over on this website than you can find over here on the YouTube channel, because I have over 25 courses that I've made, all designed to help you learn more about piano and music. There's courses for beginner students, intermediate students, and advanced students. So if you're looking to really take things to the next level, I really highly recommend you check it out. It has the same types of instructional videos you see over here on the YouTube channel. Of course, they're exclusive to the website. And then you also have printable sheet music examples, real songs to play, online activities, and a lot more to enhance your learning. So I highly recommend you go over there and check it out. And also be sure to check out the Buy Courses page, where there are course packs where you can get a great deal, get a number of courses all in one package. And if you use the code YouTube during checkout, you can get an additional 15% off. So I really want to let you know about that, because if you really are interested in taking this whole learning piano thing to the next level, you definitely want to check that out. All right, do you want to learn more about how to get better at playing piano with both hands? Well, I have the thing just for you. You definitely want to check out this lesson and this playlist that I recommend to learn even more. You want to subscribe because we have new videos coming out every week, and you don't want to miss out. So thanks everybody for coming out, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thank you so much.